Hello, everybody. Captain Marty here. Wednesday, September the 11th. A lot of stuff to talk about in the fishing report, a lot of variety. I'd call it a pretty darn good report. I'll be right back to tell you what to expect in just a moment.
Red Drum Tackle in Buxton is the oldest complete tackle shop at Cape Hatteras. And being the closest tackle shop to Cape Point, Red Drum Tackle has been welcoming fishermen to Hatteras Island with a wide selection of bait and tackle, skilled custom rod builds, rod and reel repair, expert knowledge and information since 1974. Red Drum Tackle knows how, when, and where to fish. To acquire this fishing brain power, visit them online at reddrumtackle.com. Red Drum Tackle, the oldest complete tackle shop at Cape Hatteras and the closest to Cape Point in Buxton.
Ahoy there, folks. Captain Edward Lee here, and I want to invite you aboard the Miss Oregon Inlet 2. She's a modern 60-foot head boat outfitted with the latest top-quality safety and fishing equipment. We make 3 trips per day out of the world-famous Oregon Inlet Fishing Center. Visit MissOregonInlet.com or call us today at 252-251-4314. So ditch the beach for a bit and set sail with the Miss Oregon Inlet 2.
We always start with our offshore fishing, and offshore fishing, very uniform reports for both Hatteras and Oregon Inlet. And the Baylor dolphin fishing, meaning the 3 to 8 pound dolphin, is good. By the way, the entire fishing report today may sound like a broken record over the last few days, but we are glad to be talking about the same thing day after day because it's been pretty good fishing. Both fleets having good dolphin fishing, a few gaffers, but mostly what we call the Baylors. These are crowd pleasers. You get everybody out on the stern of the boat, around a grass line or an old barnacled up log, and you catch these mahi or dolphin fish, and you can catch 60 of them in 10 minutes if you got the right crew and a good mate. And I saw limits of dolphin on the dock for a lot of the boats in Hatteras and Oregon Inlet. Also down in Hatteras, good blackfin tuna fishing, a few yellowfin tuna, and a few wahoo. The Oregon Inlet fleet also had a few wahoo and a few blackfin tuna, and a little bit of an improvement on the whites and sail fishing. I saw a couple boats with 4 or 5, so that's good. I'm hoping we're going to get even better than that in the days to come. Inshore fishing, depending on where you were, but there's been really, really good ribbon fish. Ribbon fish are something I don't think I've ever caught one on a charter boat that I ran, but they're there now, and there are plenty of them. Long, skinny, weird-looking fish, big teeth. They jump, they fight. They're good to eat. What more could you ask for? It's also both inlets catching some bluefish. These are small, large bluefish, 5 to 7 or 8 pounds is what I'm hearing mostly. Both fleets catching Spanish mackerel, and every once in a while, you're going to see a drum in their catches or a lot of false albacore. So that's what's happening with our ocean boat fishing guys. As far as our pier fishing goes, we're talking about the bluefish. Bluefish, again, are 5 pounds to 8 pound average. And, of course, at night, it's been very good drum fishing. Not entirely at night, but mostly at night on the end of the piers, the drum bite is on. These are red drum, 45 to 50 inches, a lot of them. And it's the time of year when people just go crazy over those things. But if you go out on a pier, let me put it this way, if you go out on the pier and can catch and release a big drum, which you have to release them, that's the equivalent in my mind of catching a blue marlin on an offshore charter boat. So the challenge is there, and that's what everybody are into. It's a lot of fun, beautiful fish. They are the state fish, as a matter of fact. Go out and watch. That's the best way to learn, is go out there and just see what goes on. In the surf, a nice mixture of things. Just about every species is represented this time of year. Pompano, puppy drum, Spanish mackerel. It's been some of those bluefish I mentioned, some spot. A lot of activity at the point on. All I really heard about was bluefish yesterday. So I'm sure there's a lot of drum roaming around there as well. But what I heard about was the bluefish. We haven't talked about the backcountry. Beautiful day for backcountry fishing. I'll be taking a little break right here, and I'll be right back to tell you what they caught in the Sound.
At Fishing Unlimited on the Nags Head Manio Causeway, not only can you get stocked up with all the bait, tackle, and amenities necessary to fish, but you can also be your own captain. That's right. At Fishing Unlimited, you can rent one of their spacious pontoon boats to go fishing, crabbing, dolphin watching, or just to cruise the Roanoke Sound. It's family fun at its finest. Half-day and full-day rentals are available. Be your own captain at Fishing Unlimited on the Nags Head Manio Causeway.
So backcountry fishing includes the backside of Hatteras Island for our waders. Backcountry includes all the way around Roanoke Island for our waders, catching those speckled trout. Backcountry includes the Pamlico Sound, the Albemarle Sound, the Croatan Sound, the Roanoke Sound. Backcountry is basically everything inside of our inlets. We continue to have a great year on the big drum fishing. Guys out there in boats along the shoals in the evenings are still catching big drum, and they're over a wide area from way down back of Ocracoke over to Belhaven and up. Actually, when you get up inside of Oregon Inlet, they're still catching some of those as well. The trout are still biting, but it isn't anything to write home about, and they're not as big as they'll get as we get later into the fall. We've been talking every day about the sheephead, and the sheephead, that's a desirable fish to catch in the backcountry. And also about these bluefish, the same 5-pounders that I mentioned over on the surf and on the piers are back in the Sound. This is encouraging to me because they're crowd pleasers, and a 5-pound bluefish is a really, really good fish to eat. And by the way, if you have a home smoker, there's really not many fish that would be better in a smoker than a bluefish. So keep that in mind. I like bluefish any way you can cook them, but that's what's going on back in our Sound. We also, of course, have been talking about how good the shrimping is right now, which is one of the reasons the fishing is so good. All those fish are filling up on shrimp, so they got to taste good. That's what I'm thinking. But a really good time to go to your major fish houses and buy you a box of fresh local shrimp, heads on, heads off. Just totally better quality than anything you're going to find in a grocery store. So keep that in mind. That's pretty much where we stand here middle of the week. Plenty of fishing opportunity. There are also one thing you might think about on the offshore fishing. This time of year is a pretty decent time of year to get on what's called a make-up charter. Meaning if you came down from Ohio, you don't have a boat booked, you didn't make a reservation, and all of a sudden you walk the docks, take the kids around and watch these beautiful sport fishing boats come in. You see these catches and you think, I'd kind of like to do that, but I didn't make plans to do that. But the weather's good. Obviously, the fishing's good. So you go into the major marinas and you go up to the booking desk and inquire about a makeup charter. Most of these boats are licensed for 6 people. So on a makeup charter, they will figure out what day you want to go, and then they'll assign you a boat as long as they have some other people to fill the charter. In other words, if you're by yourself, they'll try to put you with 5 other people. They will split it up for you, so the cost is split 6 ways. Then you go fishing. And one of the biggest marlin that was ever caught was caught on the Joe Boy in 1974, 1,142 pounds by Captain Harry Baum on the Joe Boy with angler Jack Harrington, who was part of a makeup charter. So you never know. They're notoriously lucky, and it's just a great way to go out for the day and visit the miracle of the Gulf Stream, the river that runs in the ocean that has so much to do with our local fishing here as it comes in close to our coast. So keep all those things in mind. That's our fishing report for you today. I hope you're enjoying your stay on the Outer Banks if you're visiting. I hope you'll come back and see us soon. Have a blessed afternoon.